So with the cancellation of the Overwatch 2 PvE content, which was going to be released sometime in 2023, I finally come to realize that a lot of things in the game marketplace, and even just the game studios as a whole, don't really care about what we want. Now, I already know what you're going to say. Game in Darkness, why do you care? These companies, they do this all the time. You should, as a gamer, already know that this is a normality. Well, I don't care about that. I'm really here to just kind of sit here and talk about all of these things that I see in the gaming community and what I think honestly just needs to be a big change. So strap yourself in, take a chill pill, listen to lo-fi music, and let's just talk about this. Now, as I stated before, Overwatch 2's PvE content being cancelled that was announced 4 years ago and supposed to release in August of 2023 really shook me to my core. Now, take me with a grain of salt, because initially when I picked up the game from my father buying it for me back in 2014, 2015, something like that, I actually initially really liked the game, but grew over time to dislike the PvP content and just dislike the game as a whole. That's a whole other topic we can talk about, but for right now it's more important that we get into this. Back when they announced in 2022 that there was going to be a sequel to Overwatch 1, but with an addition to PvP and PvE content, everybody got really excited. Everybody got really hyped. Because at this point in time, the Overwatch community was kind of starting to go down and people weren't really playing it too much. There still were obviously devout fans, but people just kind of weren't getting into that space for Overwatch 2. People got really excited. In this instance, people were excited mostly because it was going to breathe new, fresh air into the mix for the game. It was going to make people be able to play differently and have all of these changes that were going to entice people to actually buy a new product. But as we know now, all of that stuff was canceled and changed for something else. As soon as I heard them announce that they were going to be putting a battle pass system into it and they were going to make it free to play, I already saw the downhill spiral from Blizzard in that instance. Thanks to games like Fortnite, EA's Respawn's Apex Legends, things like that have grounded themselves and put themselves and nailed themselves into this gaming space of making actual good profit from people buying battle passes and buying skins. Everybody kind of changed in that global game development space. I played Apex for a long time, and I even still tried to play Fortnite as much as I could. But out of all of the games, I think Fortnite's battle pass system and Fortnite's monetization system is probably still going to be the best out of all of them, mostly just because they did it first, but they actually have good content that you can buy for a good price. I'd say probably it's a little bit overpriced, but you can get it for a good price and still play with that content in the game, right? With Apex's case, I think they're falling a little bit low because they don't have the good monetization skills to have the good skins, right? They have like 2 or 3 people probably making those skins that actually have real effort into them, but all of the other ones in the battle pass are just not good skins. They're garbage. They're trash. They're things that you look at and you're like, what? Why were these made? Recolor skins, really garbage fucking character skins. All of these things just kind of make players look at it and go, okay, they're not giving any care about their products. You take a look at Fortnite's battle pass system, or even just their store model. They have, things that people would want. Doomslayer in one of the battle passes. They have, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker. They have a bunch of Star Wars contracts. They even have Transformers now. It's insane. But I think in that instance, when Overwatch said that they were going to do a battle pass system instead of doing their normal, storefront page of buying loot boxes, I kind of took a step back and was like, okay, I'm not going to play this game. Now, the loot box system, as crappy as it is and as bad as they were, I don't think that they were necessarily that bad. You could earn them for free, and there was chances that you would get something good out of them. And yeah, it's loot boxes is a totally bad. I agree, they're totally bad. They're not good for younger audiences, and they're not good just in general. But when you're taking a look at what we have now with battle passes from Fortnite and Apex and all these games, they don't put any effort into actually doing anything with them anymore. They don't incentivize people on actually having anything good come. Now, to get back to my point with Overwatch's battle pass system, and not even just anything else, but their storefront, to me, in-game right now seems more like a crime than it was for the loot boxes. You're paying $28 for a legendary skin to get something that's barely even passable as great. Take a look at Apex Legends. They're a really good pusher for that. Their skins are very overpriced for what little things that you get for them. Most of the time, they're just like head model changes or even maybe just a little bit of a dynamic thing here and there, but most of the time, it's not worth $15 to get a recolor. Overwatch 2 seems to be adopting the same model that Apex did and some other games with battle passes, where they just kind of have a bunch of crap in there, and sometimes they come up with some cool stuff, but they leave that for the harder stuff so that the people that pay their $10 have to grind out enough time and grind out enough coins or points or whatever that they call them to get what they want. I actually really hate these models in modern games with modern practices where they'll implement a battle pass system and, you know, with the cheap price, you'll pay $10 and you'll get all this content. It really bugs me because sometimes they don't release that content so quick so that you can just grind it out, but they'll release it if you pay enough money to go and get it. Fortnite does this a lot where they'll release their battle passes, and then usually it's about like $80 now. It used to be $100 to get the full battle pass day one. I think where their differences come, though, is that Fortnite's actual grinding mechanics are way better and more intuitive than any other game that has this system, right? I remember back in the day when I would buy a battle pass and I'd be excited for it, and I'd pay for the $10 for it, and I'd spend a week, maybe even 2, at the very end of the battle pass to go and grind it all out, and I would get what I want. I think that system's okay. It's not great. It could be better. I think it could be more consumer friendly, but companies aren't really going to do that anymore. And Fortnite's making enough money as it is to where they're not going to really care. They're going to be like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. But that's all just on one side. You know, they have tons of things that go wrong with battle passes, and I'm not here to just talk about battle passes and rant on about battle passes. I'm here to actually talk about just total game companies as a whole releasing products. So going back over to Overwatch's state right now, players are very upset and very vocal about it being, you know, canceled with the PvE content and stuff. And people are just kind of getting open to it. People are talking about it, right? Which I think is a good thing. I think it's a good thing that we should probably get it open to the public and start talking about these things, because if we don't do anything about it, then, you know, Blizzard's just going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it, and nobody's really going to get anywhere with it, and they're just going to get away with what they want. I think the best method would be to probably just talk about it with people, try to open it up to everybody so that we can get more of a voice out and see if we can get them to change this model. Do I think it's going to work? Probably not, but it doesn't hurt to talk about it, and it doesn't hurt to express people's feelings. So for me personally, as a consumer of really a lot of game media content, just a lot of game stuff in general, I like to surround myself in talking about games and stuff. It really bothered me when I saw that in all of the storefronts for Blizzard's content, being, you know, Diablo 4's recent release, with their storefront being about $28 to pay for a new skin for one character class, you know, it bothered me to the point where I was pretty pissed for the whole thing. I think Overwatch 2 and even Diablo and pretty much any game that Blizzard owns that has a payment model like this is probably at fault for the bigger things. They release these things and players will complain about it, but there's still people out there that will buy it because, they don't want to miss out on that big FOMO of like, it's going to be gone and there's going to be another big thing that's going to come out, so I might as well just get this one and have a collection, right? They're really capitalizing on the fact of collectors and hoarders and people that will do anything to just collect stuff. They're really trying to capitalize on that market, and I think it's very, very direct and manipulative to have these things kind of in our games. And I don't think that Fortnite or Apex do that. I think it's just Apex doesn't care about their consumer products, and Fortnite just doesn't care. They're making a bunch of money anyways off of kids. That is a good topic to talk about with kids. You know, Overwatch isn't just an adult game, it's a kids game as well, and kids will be able to pick it up and play it for free to play now. Now, I know it sounds like I'm really just talking about Overwatch's stuff. I think personally why I'm talking about it so much is that it is a big topic, it's a big controversy, it's a big thing that happened, and people are still pretty pissed about it. But I would say probably in the long run that this isn't going to be ending. This isn't going to stop today. This is a thing that's going to happen for a while, and I just want to, show my point, saying that game companies, they want to do this. This is what they want. And I think even with this new model that Overwatch is pushing, they're going to have the opportunity to just patch out what other players don't like. You know, they're going to be able to patch out everything and make it the way that people want it. But at the same time, they might not. It's not really known right now what's going to happen, but we're just going to have to kind of wait and see. You know, I think game companies as a whole is a big contender for this really big push for doing these kinds of things to consumers. And I think one of the bigger reasons why I think that now, and even just before, but now I'm really hard set on it, is when the recent release of Gollum and Forspoken and Callisto Protocol, and, you know, even Jedi Survivor, which isn't a bad game. It's not for me personally, but it isn't a bad game, but it did happen to be this way, where the companies will release it at this state and they'll just have to patch it later. So this goes into my other point about companies not wanting to, you know, protect the consumers and release a good product, to where, like, when we talk about Gollum, you know, that game looks like shit. It looks like dog water. It doesn't look good, and it doesn't play good, and it's broken all over the place. I don't think that game is going to be patchable. I don't think that game's going to come back, but it was released in this state, and it was brought out to consumers to buy, and people were hyped for it a little bit. But, you know, this is one of the big things. And then even then, there's still also, you know, how they released this game at like a full price of $40 or $60 or whatever it was. I didn't buy it because where people bought it and played it, and they didn't like it, and they were pretty vocal and open about it being bad. You know, it got a crap ton going down on it on the YouTube side, people destroying it absolutely. And I thought it was kind of funny because this isn't a normal game. This is the game that just came out of nowhere, and people just kind of dogged on it because it was ass. I mean, it was ass. And then you get games, you know, like Forspoken, where it released and people were kind of interested in what was going on with it, and it was a new IP, and you know, it was from Square Enix. People bought it, not a lot, but people did buy it and played it, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good because I feel that the writing team just didn't do their job enough to get it to where they wanted it to be, or to where it needed to be for a release date. You know, it did have a major issue with frame rate, and it did have a major issue with actual, like, you know, things that were happening to it and shit. And you could get into a whole topic about what went wrong with Forspoken, but I'm gonna save you for another video, maybe. I don't know. And I'll save you right now, and we'll continue. So this one personally hurts me the most because I was a huge fan of the Dead Space remake, and I also was just a really big fan of Dead Space as a whole. So hearing that the creator of the original Dead Space, and hearing how he was talking about doing a new IP and he had this game idea, I was excited. Now, everybody knows it. The Callisto Protocol also kind of fumbled the bag, didn't hit the mark, it didn't do well, and it still isn't really even doing well. You know, their new model, where they're going to be selling these DLCs where you can pay for executions from the enemies killing you, like that's a bit much. But people don't care about the Callisto Protocol anymore, and it kind of sucks because I really did have high hopes for this game. I think one of the bigger reasons why Callisto Protocol failed and didn't do so well was because the fundamental gameplay loop wasn't good. The combat wasn't fun, the guns weren't fun to use. It was honestly just a miserable experience to play day one. Day one, I played for, I think it was like 6 hours trying to get through, and there was many times where I got stuck because I was just getting killed and killed and killed and killed. And no player really wants to have that kind of gameplay. Just kind of takes people out and makes them not care anymore about it. And that's where a lot of people came with their frustrations about Callisto Protocol, and they couldn't do anything except change it to what people wanted. So now when you play Callisto Protocol, the actual fun of it is still taken away, only because the gameplay that they wanted to have didn't fit the mark. And people went riot with that. People are in a riot right now about the DLCs that are coming out, and the fact that the ending of the game didn't have a good ending, and it just kind of left it at a cliffhanger where you have to pay another probably $30 or $20 to go and get the DLC to get the full ending of the game. I don't believe that was what the creator wanted. I think he probably wanted it to be a different experience. I definitely believe that was PUBG's influence, because Callisto Protocol is owned by the PUBG universe and owned by the PUBG company, and I think they pushed it really hard on that in that aspect. So where am I going with all of this? What am I talking about? Callisto Protocol, Forspoken, Golem, right? Like, what am I talking about? I think what I'm trying to put out right now is telling you that these companies don't care about what state they want them to be out. They want them to be out at it's fucking, they just want it to be out, right? Obviously, you're looking at me and you're saying, dude, yeah, that's obvious. Get over with it, right? I'm not gonna do that, because you as a consumer deserve better and deserve to honestly get enjoyable games. You deserve to be able to play games that are really good and fun. And you can do that still, yeah. Gaming isn't completely gone. There are still great games that you can play, but this is a major issue that needs to change, and I want people to start talking about it more and talking about the big changes for it. So now we approach the end of this video, and I just want to first of all say thank you guys for holding on so much. I know I haven't really been uploading too much, and I haven't really gotten too much out of there, but I am starting to stream every weekend now, from Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. You can catch me after 5 p.m. Central or PTS time, which is a Pacific time zone. Just to leave it off on a couple of good notes, I want to say that if you guys are looking for better video game experiences, I would highly recommend taking a look at BattleBit Remastered. That game is actually a lot of fun. I've been streaming it a couple of times here and there, and it's actually been quite fun for me. And it's made me be hopeful for the future of kind of gaming, I guess, and getting better into a lot of the new stuff that's coming out. A secondary thing I would be recommending, which is not out yet, but it's coming out here pretty soon. I actually just uploaded, well, didn't just, but I uploaded a couple of videos of it a couple of weeks ago, which is called The Finals. That game's gameplay is actually super fun. I'm going to be streaming that every Sunday or Saturday, depending on when it works out for me. Now, I'll preface this with a warning that the finals isn't actually out yet, so you'll have to wait for it. I highly recommend joining the Discord and getting that stuff situated. So, on a better note too, I also have a Discord that I'm actively in. I'm actually in 3 different active Discords. We've got the secondary channel that I have uploaded called The Couch Potatoes. Please go check it out as best as you can and support that group. That's me and my friends coming together and playing video games and just having a good old time, which they also have the Discord linked inside of the video description. I have my Discord, which I'm calling it just Darkness of Lord Livestreams. If you want to join in on there, you don't have to. It's totally okay with me. But, you know, if I'm in there, then you can just message me and send me some talks and we can talk about some video game stuff. The third one that I'm actually most active in is actually in my buddy's Jeff's server, which he just uploaded a video called the Payday 2 is a Magical Experience. And if you haven't already, please give yourself a chance to go and actually watch that video, because it's actually pretty fun. I wasn't in it, but that's also just because I don't really play Payday 2 anymore, because I spent a lot of my time playing that before they actually got into it. So now here we are to the end of the video, and again, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up or even subscribe. I'm going to be planning on making more videos and even streaming here throughout the process of this whole year. You know, it's been a stressful year, I think, for gamers. We've had a lot of disappointments and a lot of fun times, but in all, you know, we're getting some more games coming out. People, you know, gaming isn't dead, but people are upset, and they're rightfully so. So all I guess I can say is thank you for watching the video. Hope you guys have a great one, and I'll see you next time.